Welcome to Globe Arts. I'm Zoe and this is Jackie.
We really hope you enjoy our how-to tutorials.
I'm going to show you how to do wet felting.
So we're going to do some felting today, and you will need a towel, some bubble wrap, some tutu netting, a sponge, some soapy water, that can be in a bowl or in a squeeze bottle like this, and then your felt roving. Okay, so you need your bubble wrap with the bubbles facing upwards, and then we're going to do a background of a colour, and if you just choose something that you've got a lot of, that is okay. We're not really going to see a lot of it through, it's just to make sure that whatever we lay on top fuses to the rest of the felt properly. So when you're trying to get smaller amounts of roving, you don't want to pull it really tight because it's not actually going to go anywhere. You need to use a finger and a thumb and wiggle it around, and then you can gently just pull apart like that. So we want a nice thin layer for the background, and I'm going to do a landscape. So this first layer, I'm going to do it going up and down. Because the things that I'm going to put on top are going to be going across. So I'm just pulling really gently, and I'm getting some nice thin wispy bits of the roving, popping them in that direction, and then you're just going to carry on doing that until you've got a sizable piece and you can't see much of the bubble wrap through it. So now I want to start thinking about my landscape. So I'm going to get some of this green. It's got a nice mixture of shades in there. So again, I'm just going to pull those apart. Now what you don't want to do is just grab that and just shove it on top there. You need to keep pulling them apart so you've got nice wispy bits of roving. That's just going to help it fuse together a little bit better, and then you don't just end up with big clumps of the roving that hasn't managed to felt properly, and it will just fall off. If you put it in a massive clump, it will just not attach and you'll be left with a hole. So you need to take your time with this. So I've got a bit more of a background there now, and I'm going to start adding some small details, and I want to do some nice shades of pink, I think. Okay, so you can build that up as much as you want. Don't worry about how high it's getting, it's absolutely fine. Once we've got some water on there, it's going to flatten off quite a lot. So once you're happy with your design, you're going to get your piece of netting and carefully pop that over the top. That is going to just keep it all in place so that when we get to the rolling stage, none of this is going to move around. So you've got your netting on top, then you need your soapy water, and add a little bit at a time because you can always add more. It's very difficult to take it out even with a sponge. So then you just holding the netting down with your roving underneath and just go round the edges from one side to another. Okay, so I know that that's been soaked the whole way through down to the underneath. So the next thing we do is get your second piece of bubble wrap, bubble side down this time, and then we are going to roll everything, so including the towel. So roll it as tightly as you can. And you'll see it's starting to squash out all of that soapy water right to the edge. And when you get to there, then you're applying a little bit of pressure. If you stand up, it's a little bit easier, and just roll backwards and forwards. You're not coming the whole way, you're not unraveling it, you just backwards and forwards around about 50 times. Okay, and then when you've done it 50 times, you're going to totally unravel it. You're going to turn your towel and your piece 90 degrees, and you're going to roll it up again as tightly as you can. Unravel, and exactly the same on the third and the fourth side. Okay, and then you will take your bubble wrap off and your netting off carefully, because sometimes it fuses a little bit on the edges, so don't just try and rip it off all at once. So that rolling process, we've had some friction in there. Heat has been made from rubbing between the bubbles and the netting, and it will have fused all of the roving together to give you one piece of flat felt. Okay, and then it will look a little bit neat around the edge. I haven't done all of the rolling. And when it's dried, it will shrink a little bit as well, and it'll look something similar to that.